beautiful ones. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna set up everything so that you can see me properly. All right. Hello! How is everyone? Oh my goodness, I feel like I haven't been here forever. Some of you probably know this. I have been home in Malaysia. That's where I am originally from. I've lived in Hong Kong for a couple of years before I met my husband, and I moved over to Edinburgh probably a couple of years ago. And so I was there and I had a wedding. It was actually our Malaysian wedding. I'm actually married and we've been married for a year now, registration wise. So it was really nice to just do it three times because we had the registrar and then we had like a really private, intimate wedding before in Scotland. And then now, 1 year later, we are able to go home finally to have that celebration with my family back home. They weren't able to be here in Scotland, so it was really, really nice. And then I got home, and the next day I went off to a festival and I received so many amazing downloads on that beautiful sacred land that I was on, and I can't wait to share that with you. It's coming soon, very, 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 very soon. I'm really excited about that. And then I also went into London, and many opportunities have been birthed, and I can't wait to really just share all of that with you. But in time, right? We're just gonna really soak in and integrate and really allow it to be unfold, because I think that's the real message that I've been getting so far, and it's really about allowing things to unfold and not to really do something for the sake of just because you need to do it or you should be doing it. And for all of you who are new here, welcome. My name is Li Ying. I am a divine energy alchemist, a ceremonial keeper of the way of tea, and I'm also a sacred transformation mentor to spiritual, creative, feminine leaders who want to live on purpose in their own authentic power. And if that's you, welcome. And please comment. Let me know where you're from. What are you up to these days? And what you do? What is your sacred work? Because, my love, I'm here to really have a little heart to heart talk with you about things that are happening right now in our lives, and also how we can really choose what we participate in. Yeah. And one of the downloads that really came through for me very clearly over the weekend when I was on this beautiful ancestral land that has been visited by kings and queens, that housed a temple of Isis, that has amazing deers running through the fields. And it was actually owned by a beautiful woman who put together this festival because she honored the downloads that were coming through her, that it had to happen in that space. And she beautifully shared that she didn't actually want the land. She didn't want to live there. She didn't want to have the responsibility of taking care of that heritage site. But she honored spirit. She came back in. She heard spirit tell her that it needs to happen. It needs to be a place to bring the women and the high priestesses from all around the world together here. And this festival was birthed. And for me to really hear that, I was just really like, it just hit me completely in the heart. And when I really set foot on the land, um, tears just started falling. I sat very near in a circle with all these, I think there were like 100 over women there. And I was sitting very close to a divine cedar tree. And that tree has seen so many lifetimes, so many kings and queens and dukes and duchesses. Um, and it just brought me to tears, like something so loving and so gentle and yet so profound really just streamed through me. And I just love it. Hi, Jamie, beautiful. Mwah. It's so divine. I know Jamie has also been at that festival, and I know, Jamie, you know what I'm saying, right? It's just like I was completely in tears. I remember we did like a five, was it five, four directions, I think, of just honoring all the directions and opening that space. And I remembered that when we did west, we actually completely, I faced the tree directly because of where I stood in the circle. And I was just like in tears. I was just like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is so beautiful. And um, the West holds a very special place in my heart because the West is where the dark goddess resides. And if you don't know my work, I work with Taoist, traditional Chinese medicine, in a way that I move and hold space with tea medicine. And also, when I started to serve tea ceremony, along the journey, I was able to meet the dark goddess and started to work with her energy in the ceremony. And we also call her the Queen Mother of the West in Taoist medicine and Taoist shamanism. And so it was really beautiful to just see that and also know that the West honors the element of water. And of course, it was so like, of course, it was just like, yes, because the water element is receptive, it's yin. Yeah, it's something in the Tao. One of the beautiful sages wrote this amazing book, and one of the things I remember, it was very striking to me, is that water changes shape. It is the highest and also the lowest of all elements, and that's because it can make and break you, and it can also mold itself to fit whatever that needs to be fitted, and it can also mold other things. And so it's the most powerful, and yes, and yet it is also the gentlest. And I think what I really felt I wanted to share today, beyond the experience I had, is that we all as women, we tend to forget that we have the power within us. We have the yin energy to shift many things in the world. And hello, Rachel. Hi, Divine One. Good morning to you, I think. Um, I wanted to share this because I know that the current energy, when we really sit in this dimension, in this beautiful body that we have, we are given so many advices, so many opinions, so many tools that sometimes we tend to forget what is truly us. And do we ever give ourselves enough time to be receptive, right? So much out there tells us that we need to be out there taking action, doing this, climbing that, going there, achieving this, accomplishing that. And yet we forget that that doesn't come without the power to be receptive. So if you want all of those things, you want to manifest, you want to create impact in the world, you want to live on purpose, yeah, it doesn't come without being receptive. And I say this with all my heart because when we take so many actions thinking that we should do that, and then we went and did it and it didn't yield the outcomes that we desired, and when it keeps happening, we start to become resentful. We start to become resentful that, oh, I did everything I needed to do and yet it didn't happen. Why? And then you start to feel the resentment building up. And that resentment can always have an effect on your purpose, on your business, on your sacred work, how you are serving others. And in effect, it impacts how you leave your legacy on or your mark on this world. And we're all here to create that impact. Yeah, absolutely, Jamie. We forget to be still, we forget to be gentle, we forget to be fluid and soft. Fluid, I can't even speak. But that is why when I was at the festival, just having all these amazing downloads coming through, and also with beautiful women and speaking with women and hearing all the things that are coming through, and being with facilitators who have all these amazing different kinds of tools and modalities to offer, I was actually able to come back to myself and actually see that I already have what I need. And yet, I felt I wasn't worthy of sharing them. And this is a very, very, very interesting thing for me to realize, because I've done so much work on my worthiness, on my self-love, on, coming from a place when I was deeply, like severely anorexic, to a place where I started to love my body and have that inclination to say, I'm going to fully recover from anorexia and all my other eating disorders that I have developed through 10 years of my entire lifespan of doing that. And once I started to fully recover, I came into the next phase, which is I felt myself moving in my body. I felt something in my body that was me. And I never felt that because I always had that outward, coming from outside perspective of how I should look, who I should be. Yeah. And when I started to feel that, I started to get on a really deep spiritual journey. And even then, now that I look back, it was very surfacey. It was about manifesting the life that I really wanted. And so I listened to a lot of Abraham Hicks. I listened to all kinds of YouTubers. And then I realized that, okay, I need to get into meditation. And so I started to get into meditation. I had many Samaritans come into my life that showed me the way. I got into sound healing. I got into many body work as well at the time. But it was at that point where I really asked the universe, please show me a way. Tell me what I need to do. What am I here for? Like, what is my purpose? That 2 days, maybe 3 days later, I received an invitation. At the time, I was working in digital media. I was a senior digital media editor at a very prominent news agency back in Hong Kong. I received the invitation as, a media invitation to cover a tea ceremony. And it was so divine. I walked in, at first I was like, of course I'll go. I love tea. But I went in not knowing, not expecting, not really, expecting anything at all. And in that space, in that ceremony, when I picked up my bowl of tea, I heard that voice speak to me. It spoke to me. And I remember every single word. It said to me, you have to go and serve tea. This is what you have to do. Drop everything you know and go and serve tea. And of course, I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Who am I to do this? I have no idea. I'm not even remotely like spiritual. Yes, I have a deck of like the universe has my back. Gabby Bernstein affirmation cards. Does that make me spiritual? Right? And I didn't go in. I remember kind of like umming and eyeing for like maybe 2 months. Actually, I think it was 1 month. And I got my colleague who was sitting next to me. She was like, just go and ask the lady and who served you where to start, if she can teach you, if she's got a class. And that was actually the moment I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just go speak to her. And I asked her, look, I want to learn everything about this. How can I do this? And I always remember what she said to me. She said, all you have to do is come and drink tea. Start with learning the language of tea by drinking her, embodying her, touching her, smelling her, getting to know how she speaks in your body. And I was like, okay, I'll do that. And that was the moment I put down the biggest amount of money on myself with my own money. And I was so happy. I did all the work that probably like a nun or a monk would do at a temple. I cleaned the tea cupboards. I helped her with the water. I was the water bearer, so I was sitting next to her when she was serving. And I was so happy. I was genuinely so happy. I'm doing things that I never even did in my flat, in my home, cleaning with heart, cleaning with presence, and serving others with presence. And slowly things began to happen. My husband, which was my then boyfriend, asked me, "Do you want to move to Edinburgh?" And I was like, "Oh my God, you mean like leave my job and go there?" I was like, "Yeah, why not? And I can start serving tea when I'm there." Okay. And so I said yes, yes to that scary thing of leaving an amazing, well paid job, reputable job, and going out there to do something that perhaps my family never thought I would do. And it's a big thing in a Chinese family because they always ask and they tell you, you gotta be a doctor, you gotta be this, you gotta be an accountant, whatever. And even then, being someone in media, I was already breaking the mold because everyone thought that to be a journalist, you're never gonna make money. And I broke that spell. And now I paved the way for younger generations in my family to be able to do other things like film, journalism, publishing, my sister, yeah, and my cousin brother in film and arts. That wouldn't have been possible because they saw what I did. The parents said, yeah, go ahead and do it because you can absolutely make money with it. Yeah. So I look back on these things and I know that what we do as leaders can feel like we're very alone. It can feel like we are doing things that people don't understand. And if you're not careful with that, if you don't embrace that emotion that's coming up for you, you become resentful. And resentment gets into the space of anger. And then these are things that are not bad at all, but they become something poisonous when we ignore them, when we suppress them, when we don't allow them in, when we don't embrace them as what they are. We try to change them, we try to fix them. And that's when the problem arises. That's when you start to feel physically ill. That's when you start to see your reality reflecting to you in a way that you don't want it to reflect. You are attracting people that are making all kinds of things that are causing you pain and even more resentment. It's a compound effect. And what I see often is that women come to me and they tell me these things and then they are afraid. They make decisions based on where they are. And my work is I am very honest with you. I don't try to sell you anything. I don't, because you would never listen anyway. Sales in that way is not genuine. I want to hear what you want. And if I know I can get you what you want with you co-creating it with me, I will absolutely say that to you. And I always say it with heart. You're not here to sustain a life. You're here to thrive. But you're making a decision based on where you are. And when you do, you're merely sustaining the same thing that is happening over and over again in your life. It's just like saying, I wanna eat healthier, I wanna look better, but I'll wait till I feel better, then I'll go to the gym. Yeah, right? But it doesn't work that way. Because if you knew how to do that, then you wouldn't need to go to the gym or find someone to help you with that, right? It's a bad analogy, but you know what I'm saying, right? It's really saying we only know what we know. The mind knows what it knows and it wants to stay in the same way because it's designed to keep you safe. Yeah. Our work as the soul, as the leader, we must take those steps forward with faith because we know we are cosmic beings being human. Hi, Natalie. And also, hello, Sandra. I think it's Sandra. If it's not, let me know. Um, if you're watching, say hello. I'd love to hear where you are, who you are, what sacred work you have to offer, and are you living on purpose? If you're not, what does purpose mean to you? Yeah. Do you want to be thriving or do you want to be sustaining just what it is. Because I'm here to really tell you that you're meant to be thriving. We all are. And one of the things I took away very much so in the weekend that I had is that, wow, we make ourselves so small and we play so small. And there is such a huge world out there. Huge. And I know you know this. You could be serving millions of people. And yet we play so small. We think that we're not good enough. We think that we need to get another certification, or we need to be this version before we can do that. And let me tell you, if I never made that investment in myself and just said, fuck it, let's go. And I say investment not in the sense that, oh, it's just money, but it's also the time, the openness, and the unknown, the leap I took into the unknown. All of those are investments in myself without asking anyone for permission. Yeah, completely. I know, I had an experience with a woman who actually had a beautiful divine call with me, and it was a while ago. And looking back now, I have so much compassion for her, but she wanted so much to do the work, so much. And I remember she got off the phone and said, I'm gonna talk to my spouse about it. And in my head at the time, I was just like, okay, she'll come back and we'll start, because she's already put a down payment on. And I never heard back from her. And I was like, I texted her, hey darling, what's up? And she said, oh, I'm so sorry, I can't do this, there's too much things going on with my husband, and da da da. And when I got down to it, when she spoke to her spouse, she wasn't coming from a place of empowerment. She was asking for permission. And when you go to someone, just imagine this, right? If a child, or let's say your spouse even, came to you and wasn't sure, he was like, oh, I want to kind of invest in this, something that's super new, and but I want to do it, but I don't know, can I do it? Like, of course, you'd be like, it sounds like you're not sure. Maybe it's a better thing not to, right? So you gotta be in your heart so clear what you want. And if you're not clear, I would invite you to just jump on, apply for a sacred transformation call with me. It's all about getting clear on what exactly you want. What is your purpose, right? And then going forward, if you feel that, yes, I need support, I need your help, then we can talk about that, right? But first and foremost, get clear, because if your energy projected outward is that wishy-washy and wobbly, then how are you going to get the divine clients? How are you going to be working in a space of big impact? How are you going to write those books? How are you going to create art that really mesmerizes people? Yeah? We want to be empowered. It's the time. It's time now for all of us. And yes, it will feel scary. It will feel really, 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 really scary. Whether it's an expense that you make in terms of money, in terms of your reputation, in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your openness, your heart. Trusting someone to take your hand, trusting someone to hold your hand is also an expense. But we gotta do it when you know deeply that you are limitless. You are a soul. There are no mistakes. Even the things that we call failure, and I know some people here say, yes, there are going to be failures. We just gotta embrace the failure. Yes, they are meant to show us the way. They are failures. How are we taking the failures and turning them into our alchemy? Yeah? All I do is alchemizing your darkness. Those dark things, like wanting so deeply to be liked, failures that you want to suppress and hide away and not think about, embarrassment, shame, not wanting to be the bad person, not wanting to be the person who lets down the family. All these things, when you come down to the real essence, it's like, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Life is so short, right? Oh, Natalie, I just saw your comment. Thank you so much, my love. You are a joy to work with. Thank you. But yeah, I just want you to take this away with you today, because I am so I was really enraged. I was really enraged at first. And then I came into my own power. I realized that I can take this rage and alchemize that into true brilliance, to shower this magnificence on other women, to show them and share with them things that are really hard to share, because it needs to be known, it needs to be spoken about. And if you are a people pleaser, I have so much compassion for you, but it has to stop, because one day you might wake up and you don't even know who you are, and that's not living on purpose. And the energy we are in right now is absolutely supporting us and asking all of us to live in authentic power. And whether you like it or not, it's going to push you forward in that river. And your choice, my love, your free will is, do you go with the flow, or are you going to fight and swim upstream? That's all it is. Because all of us are going towards the same direction. We're all heading towards that very end together. Yeah. That place where we finally see, oh my God, life, how extraordinary it is. And I'm so blessed that I'm able to share ceremony in a way where you connect with tea medicine, in a way where you can see the extraordinary in the ordinary, something you can adopt and embody in your daily life, and really land and anchor that in. It's not just about enlightenment, it's also about embodiment. And that art is so powerful, because when you do, you are living your fullest life, and you're also creating impact, because now you're also open here and open here, both ends, heaven and earth here. And so I just wanted to share this, because I know that the energy currently feels very strongly like a lack consciousness is coming up for all of us around the world, especially in Europe. We have these talks all the time, but I choose not to participate in it. I choose that because I deeply know I am the only creator of my reality. I create my reality. And you too, my love. You are the creator that creates this creation. You created me for a reason, and you have the power. And that's why I want you to know today. Maybe you created this version where you're watching me right now, right? So I'm here to tell you, you can choose not to participate in scarcity and lack consciousness. You can choose to know you are here to create your highest impact and live on purpose in your own authentic power. And sometimes the journey can be really gnarly, and that is why a mentorship is so valuable. Yeah, you take this away and your life is completely changed forever. Yeah. It's so deeply, deeply profound. So I have a lot more to share, but I will leave it here for today. Thank you so much for sharing, and also for watching. And as always, my doors are open. Well, you're welcome to DM me, share your story with me, and I will be here for you. And of course, if you want to jump on a call, you're very welcome to apply. And I send you so much love. Big kisses. Mwah!